Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Are we soon to see some inflation pressures ease? Let's take a look at three charts to give us a clearer picture. These charts are coming from Fundstrat, a research firm we have partnered with. This is the New York Federal Reserve Bank. They have an inflation gauge, and you can see mid 2020 they started to show some early signs of inflation starting to creep higher. Well, now we're starting to see a rolling over of their inflation gauge, which may provide some insights on where inflation might be headed in the short term. The second chart shows 14 different inflation metrics, PPI, import prices, ISM. 12 of these 14 most recent reports have shown a decrease in inflation, hence the falling rocks on the right-hand side. The Fundstrat was showing that they are falling like a rock. There were only two data sets that showed that inflation was staying around, and both of them were core CPI numbers. Okay, headline CPI is everything. Core CPI removes food and energy, as they are some of the most volatile inflation metrics, to give us a more baseline of what inflation is. The Federal Reserve looks more at core inflation than it does headline inflation. So the other 12 are falling like a rock, and the core CPI is holding strong, which makes a greater emphasis on this final chart. Let's look at the bottom of this chart first. Headline CPI in black, core CPI in blue. You can see that headline CPI historically, and this was three examples back from the late 60s into the 80s, this showed that headline CPI has peaked before core CPI. So could we be seeing that again? Is headline rolling over and core CPI will soon follow? Now, if you bounce up to the top of this chart, you can see that not only has this peak in headline CPI come slightly before the core CPI, but it has also marked, whether short or long term, bottoms in the market. And we saw a little bit of that in June. The market kind of anticipated that to be the peak of inflation. And then we got this really bad report last week, but that report was core CPI is what shook the market there. So the question is inflation coming down overall? If we can get a peak in core CPI, that would give us more confidence to move forward, putting money to work, expecting a market rebound. So something we'll be paying attention to and keeping you all informed. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Hope you all have a great rest of your week.